over. Libs of TikTok started.
So apparently AOC is going at Libs of TikTok. She is a big advocate for the Democratic, so obviously she's against Libs of TikTok. Okay, making sure I'm actually live now. Yeah, you guys can see me.
Crying because I said over the weekend that Donald Trump is a rapist, and they went on Twitter and they went, oh, boo hoo hoo. And I said, basically, F you, cry more. I don't give a shit. Like, you want to support a rapist? That's on you. That's on you. But I don't. And they wanted to call in all of these threats into my office and all this other stuff.
So if you guys didn't see, I don't know if I was live at first, so I'm going to replay it. Basically, AOC is going off on Twitter users. She's going off on end wokeness. That's what she's doing, because I guess this defeat that she thinks she faced when it came to Donald Trump was too aggressive, and she went on live and started snapping. So I'm gonna replay it for the people who did not see it.
You're gonna do a Sig Hail, you're gonna do a Hail Hitler, or their rebrand a Roman salute from behind the presidential seal of the United States of America. It's on. It's on. And what is so important for us to understand is that as long as we don't give up, it's not over. It's not over. It is not over. Libs of TikTok started crying because I said over the weekend that Donald Trump is a rapist, and they went on Twitter and they went, oh, boo hoo hoo. And I said, basically, F you, cry more. I don't give a shit. Like, you want to support a rapist? That's on you. That's on you. But I don't. And they wanted to call in all of these threats into my office and all this other stuff. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
So although quite passionate, as you guys can see, AOC is coming off a little broken. She seems very intense about this. So apparently, if you guys don't know, Libs of TikTok is Libs of TikTok is a Twitter page, and they were basically making fun or bullying AOC because she lost. You lost. They were saying, haha, you lost this election, and that's what you get. And she went on TikTok and started going off. This is crazy. Apparently, AOC was also talking about the Laken Riley Act, and she erodes on the rights of Americans. So that's going to be interesting. AOC is obviously very known for her Democratic talking points. She doesn't seem to support conservatism at all. At all. It's pretty interesting.
Because we stand here just 2 days after President Trump gave unconditional pardons to violent criminals who attacked our nation's capital on January 6th. And these are the people who want you to believe, who want us to believe that they're trying to, quote unquote, keep criminals off the streets. When they are opening the floodgates. I want the American people to know what is in this bill. Because in the guise and in the wake of tragedy, we are seeing a fundamental erosion of our civil rights. In this bill, if a person is so much as accused of a crime, if someone wants to point a finger and accuse someone of shoplifting, they will be rounded up and put into a private detention camp and sent out for deportation without a day in court, without a moment to assert their right and without a moment to assert the privilege of innocence until proven guilty.
And this is just a question. The rights that she's referring to are rights for American citizens. The reason I'm saying that is because, assuming she's referring to illegal immigrants, how do they have said rights if they are not American citizens? I don't know.
Without being found guilty of a crime, they will be rounded up. That is what is inside this bill, a fundamental suspension of a core American value. And that is why I rise to oppose it. If you're a dreamer, all someone has to do is point a finger and you will be rounded up. And we have seen moments like these happen before. In the Patriot Act, in the wake of the travesty of 9/11, a fundamental suspension of American civil liberties. That is what we are seeing here today. Mr. Speaker, you may wonder why so many of our friends across the aisle who care so deeply about the rule of law happen to be so desperate to pass this bill after they are unleashing people who attacked police officers here on this Capitol into roaming our streets, who are publicly saying now they want to get a gun. Suddenly, these folks care about public safety? I don't think so. Look no further than the price tag of this bill, $83 billion. They know that it can't be paid for. They know that the capacity is not there. And you know what will be there?
I'm all for due process and I'm all for the law. I think when it comes to these discussions, we all have our opinions. We all have things that we want to support. We all have things that we stand up for. Everybody. I don't care who you are. We're all biased. So when it comes to something like this, I only think it makes sense to follow the law. Have the people in the J6 situation had a trial? Have they been given a trial? Have they been found guilty by the law? According to Donald Trump, a lot of the people who were arrested during that day have not been given a trial yet. So I'll say this. How is it constitutional to hold someone in jail for 4 years without a trial? That's what I want to know. If you guys notice, I haven't even said what side I support. I'm just stating the facts here. If you're going to go against the J6ers, you need to go against our legal system, go against our legislative system, our judicial system, my apologies. Go against them. Why is it constitutional to hold someone in jail for 4 years without a trial? Why does that exist? That's what you really need to be asking yourself if you have a problem. Because at the end of the day, if they were found guilty, and they were found guilty under the law by a judge, a federal judge, and Donald Trump said, okay, I'm going to get their 10-year sentence and I'm going to cut it down today, you would actually have a stronger legal standpoint to get up on a stage and say, oh, he's an evil person. Oh, they were found guilty of these things. But you haven't done that because they were not found guilty. There is no crime that they've been found guilty of because they've been falsely arrested or falsely held in prison for 4 years, 5 years at this point. That's all I'm saying. You need to stand on the law, stand on your legislative and judicial system so that you have a backbone to fight against these cases.
Private prison companies are going to get flooded with money. Who give this money, no doubt. I want folks at home to look. Look at what members of Congress are invested in private prison companies who receive this kind of money, and look at the votes on this bill. It is atrocious that people are lining their pockets with private prison profits in the name of a horrific tragedy and the victim of a crime. It is shameful. It is absolutely shameful. And Mr. Speaker, I'll conclude with this. In a few months, there are members of Congress who voted for this bill who are going to pretend they didn't know about all the bad things that are going to happen because of it. So when a private prison camp opens in your town, when a dreamer...
Time has expired. I yield the gentlelady an additional 30 seconds.
So when a private prison camp opens in your town and they say, we didn't know this was going to happen, know that they did, and they voted for it. When a dreamer is disappeared from your classroom, when the President of the United States destroys what is left of the Constitution as he's announced in this attack on birthright citizenship, they will all say, we didn't know this was coming. And I want the American people to know that they did. This vote represents it. And with that, I yield back. Thank you very much.
So obviously AOC was very intense in this. Obviously she is not standing on much here. The reason she's not standing on much is because what she said didn't have much to do with our actual laws. She didn't address the problems that our judicial system has in this. And if she would have did that, I just don't understand politicians sometimes. Just tell us the laws that were broken. Tell us the laws that he didn't follow when he issued the executive order. And I promise logical people will be on your side. But when they just hear you get on stage and whine and complain, how can anyone support you? And I'm saying this as I'm trying to be fair here. How could I support you? What law did you just say? I don't know. But what I do know is that you did not mention anything wrong with the other side. You didn't mention anything about Joe Biden pardoning his entire family. How do you pardon your entire family? You didn't mention that when it came to due process and fairness, because your entire thing was you don't want criminals roaming around. You don't want criminals. You don't want people releasing criminals. But here's the thing. When the president says that they are pardoning their entire family, isn't that criminal to you? Does that have any type of criminal backing to you? That should be very suspicious. Apparently, it was very suspicious to the Republican National Committee headquarters because they have made this announcement.
Mr. Speaker, to potentially have any type of congressional action on the pardons that President Biden issued over the last couple of days?
It was shocking. I mean, it was shocking what President Biden did on the way out, pardoning his family for more than a decade of whatever activity, any nonviolent offenses. It was breathtaking to us. I don't think that's anything like that's ever been anticipated. And by the way, go look at the tape, 4 years ago, when it was just implied that President Trump might do something similar. They were apoplectic. Joe Biden himself, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, roll the tape. They all said that would be crazy and unconscionable. And now they're cheering it along. To us, it is disgusting. To us, it probably proves the point, the suspicion that, they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right? Look, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to this, and I think that is appropriate, and we will be looking at it as well.
The only reason I'm showing this is not to attack Joe. Well, it is suspicious. I can't even deny it. Joe Biden pardoning his entire family, there's really no excuse for that. I've never even heard of a president doing that. That is extremely insane. That is crazy to me. How do you pardon your entire family? And the thing is, no one was even thinking about your family. No one has ever mentioned your family, well, except your son. But for you to pardon your family, you just put a target on their backs. What were you guys doing? People always have a problem with criminals as long as it's on the other side. When Donald Trump does something, Donald Trump did this. But when Joe Biden pardons his entire family, it's like you're blind. Like, he did what? I don't know. I can't hear you. I can't see you. Come on. You just got to be fair. Apparently, there's breaking news of migrants lashing out during ICE arrest. That I hope this is fake. I really do hope this is fake. But let's get into it.
Well, President Trump's illegal immigration crackdown is off to a fast start. Fox News has learned that in a 33-hour period between Tuesday morning and Wednesday night, ICE agents arrested over 460 migrants, many with long criminal histories. But these operations aren't just limited to Boston. They're taking place all over the country. Bill Malugin is getting an exclusive look at this massive, important operation in the sanctuary city of Boston. Live now to Bill.
Well, Emily, we've heard officials here in Boston and in Massachusetts say repeatedly they are not going to cooperate with ICE or mass deportation efforts by the Trump administration. And ICE says, well, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to cooperate with us. We're still going to go into your city and we're going to do the job. And we were with ICE Boston yesterday for about 10 hours as we got to watch them firsthand.
They're not going to cooperate. That is very, very interesting. I understand because obviously, I do not agree with everything Donald Trump does. No one agrees with everything anyone does. That's just reality. I don't agree with everything my mama do. I don't. That's my mama. But at the end of the day, it comes to respect. RESPECT. That's what it is. Whether or not you like it, Donald Trump is our president. For you to say, although you're our president, I'm not going to respect anything you say. That is insane. That is crazy. I don't even understand how that's allowed to happen.
Carry out immigration enforcement. Take a look.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a frigid 5 degrees in the pre-dawn hours just outside of Boston, where this team of
Greetings,
elite
everyone.
ICE officers
Like and
is
subscribe.
briefing on their targets for the day.
We're going to be targeting some extremely violent offenders today.
Within moments, the officers are on the move, with eyes on their first target.
Looks like we got movement, target vehicle coming out.
They quickly take him into custody. He's an MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador for aggravated murder.
What? They got freaking GTA characters running around the city and they said they're not cooperating? Did y'all just hear that? They said he's an MS-13 gang member wanted in El Salvador. And he's just roaming around the United States. Oh no, keep him away from my city. Keep him away from my city. I need my mayor to cooperate. I swear I need my mayor to cooperate. How could you hear that and say, oh, I'm not going to help you. I'm not cooperating. That is crazy. That is crazy. Hey, Donna, he is stopping all the help Biden gave us. Can you please elaborate on your dislike for Donald Trump? He is stopping all the help. I would say this. Donald Trump did issue an executive order to stop federal hiring. That is questionable for me. He also is trying to take away a few veteran benefits. I need to look more into that. But anyways, let's continue with the news. And let me know what you also think.
And he has an Interpol red notice out for his arrest.
We are targeting very violent threats to our community.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery.
Guys, can you please elaborate on him taking the freeze off medication? I really want to know more about that. Thank you.
Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Yo, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also...
Wait, what? These are freaking GTA characters. These are supervillains just roaming around the United States. Every person they've named so far has a supervillain 5-star on GTA level wanted level. How are these people just walking around the streets of DC? This is insane. And here's my biggest thing. How did they find the people so fast? The reason I'm bringing that up is because Donald Trump became president like 2-3 days ago. So if they found the people in 3 days, what does that tell you? They already knew where the people were. They just never went to arrest them. Because if you're having El Salvador terrorists walking around the streets of freaking wherever, DC or something, and you have their whole background, you know exactly where they're from, you know their first, last name, what country, you know what gang they're in, you know their favorite color, their favorite meal, you know everything about them, what time they get off work. But you didn't arrest them until Trump got in office? That's insane. And Donna said insulin under Biden was 35, now it's 100. Donna, if you are right, that is insane. I haven't looked into that, but if you are right, I hope that's false. Somebody in the comments, please elaborate on these comments immediately.
Also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the communities, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what Border Czar Tom Homan has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies, but we're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them whether they're released or not.
And guys, a quick note on some of the blurring we did in that story. We decided to hide the faces of the ICE officers, obviously, because a lot of them work undercover. We also blurred some of the faces of the suspects if their cases are still pending, if they've been arrested but haven't been convicted yet. We also learned after we were done filming that ICE picked up another target on the other side of the city. This was a previously deported Honduran illegal alien who was arrested locally and is facing charges for raping a woman while holding a gun in her mouth, guys. Those are the kind of targets ICE is picking up out here. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Malugin, thank you. Kaylee, an absolutely frightening collection of individuals. Took 33 hours to get 461 out of the way. Amazing what a little bit of leadership, a little bit of gumption, and the mandate from the American people can do.
And Emily, we were sitting there watching this, and you said 18 convictions for that Haitian individual. I mean, we were stunned to hear him say, bleep Trump, thank you, Biden, thank you, Obama, Biden forever, bro. Pay attention to what he is saying. That Biden and Obama enabled someone with 18 criminal convictions to sit in our country without any sort of accountability. There's a lot of people they need to add to that list.
So this is crazy. Before we get too deep into this, I do want to touch on the topic of Donald Trump raising the medical prices, because this has been a debate in the comments right now. And I actually looked up an article for it, if Donald Trump actually did raise the prices. And I'm going to share it. I'm going to read it out. This is News Geek. They show they are the least biased platform right now that I can think of. You guys can read it too. Fact check. Did Donald Trump raise the prescription drug prices? This was published January 21st at 7:31 p.m. Updated January 22nd at 11:36 a.m. So let's read it. President Donald Trump has been accused of raising prescription drug prices for seniors by immediately rescinding former President Joe Biden's executive order to lower costs after beginning his second term on Monday. Amid an avalanche of executive orders from Trump on Inauguration Day, Biden's executive order 14087, lowering prescription drug costs for Americans, was among several dozen that Trump reversed in an order targeting a recession of harmful executive orders and actions. Biden's order directed the Department of Health and Human Services to explore strategies to reduce costs. The U.S. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, responded to the order with programs to cap the price of certain generic drugs at $2 for Medicare beneficiaries. Donald Trump rescinded Biden's actions to lower prescription drugs for Americans on Medicare and Medicaid. Democrat Senator Adam Schiff of California wrote on Monday in an X post, formerly Twitter, "There's no way to spin it. That means more money out of the pocket for seniors and families. Big pharma first. Ordinary people last." In a post to X shortly after Trump signed the order on Monday night, Representative Jimmy Gomez, also a California Democrat, wrote that President Trump took a step to increase prescription drug costs for millions of Americans. Lawyer Tristan Snell, who successfully prosecuted a New York State civil suit against Trump University, also accused Trump of raising drug prices on Tuesday. Writing on X, drug costs by as much as 4,200%. He just reversed all the cost caps Biden negotiated for anyone on Medicare and Medicaid, over 120 million Americans. While Trump's reversal of Biden's order did not immediately change any existing laws and regulations on prescription drug prices for Medicare and Medicaid, it created uncertainty about the federal government's approach to addressing prescription drug costs. Dr. Mark McLennan, director of the Margolis Institute for Health Policy at Duke University and CMS administrator during the George W. Bush administration, told Newsweek that just because Biden's executive order was withdrawn does not necessarily mean that payment reform pilots that are in the process on $2 generic drugs for sickle cell and gene therapy access will be. Meaning that just because that Donald Trump overturned the executive order does not mean that drug prices will raise. They could be withdrawn, but the new administration could also choose to continue or to build on these specific programs, meaning that just because he overturned Biden's executive order does not mean that drug prices are going up. What it means is that Donald Trump removes Biden's regulation on it. I'm gonna send the article, but Newsweek, they give a rating on if something is true or false. What Newsweek added to this, I'm gonna share it. This rating is that it needs context, meaning that this story is neither true or false. The story needs context. Donna, I'm doing this because of you. You seem very upset. Obviously, this probably did affect you, but you saying that he raised drug prices is not necessarily true. He overturned Biden's executive order. However, he could raise drug prices. He could. However, he didn't. He can also lower them. So technically, the story is not true that Donald Trump raised drug prices. I read it straight through. Maybe you guys have a different interpretation of it. But that's just what Newsweek said. And yeah, let's get back to the video.
Mr. Haitian migrant criminal who's no longer going to be here. Add Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston. Add Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. Add Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Democrats have enabled this. And what a smart move from this administration to put these images out there within 48 hours. Because I can tell you this, the media is trying to focus on crying immigrants whose CBP apps were canceled, their appointments were canceled. They're trying to find the collateral migrants who are swept up. Tom Homan said that would happen because Democrats are not being compliant. They're trying to find those stories. And the Trump administration says, here are the criminals that are going to make the next Laken Riley happen in this country. This is what we're doing, protecting women, girls, American citizens.
And as Kaylee talks about the Laken Riley Act, Tom Homan warns these individuals, you will be arrested for these collateral individuals. You will be arrested for resisting this.
Yeah, you know, we do need to take a good look at the first law they broke, though, because that is really the problem. They came into this country illegally.
That's what I keep saying. I feel like that one discussion, people just try to ignore on the other side. If you break into a country, you're breaking into a country. Because I look at a country like a house. If you come into a country illegally, why do you just ignore the first crime? Imagine if someone broke into your house and then you beat them up or something and they try to sue you for assault and you actually get arrested. You're going to be in the court saying, but they broke into my house. Why are they in my house?
And the last administration wanted to legalize their illegal behavior and just turn them into our neighbors. And that's how these people have gotten to the point where, well, can we vote too? Eric Adams, don't forget what he said when he was a candidate before he decided he might need Trump to clean up this mess that he and the governor of New York have put on the citizens here in the state with illegal immigration. He said, oh, I'll see if you can vote, even if you're not here legally. So can we all just agree that when you break our law of sovereignty at the border, it counts, it matters, and they are going after the most violent among them and the criminals. And if they sweep up some, as you said, Kaylee, I believe, look, they're not playing ball with ICE, but they're also sweeping up people because those people are with the illegal guys who are committing the violent crimes because they're here illegally too. I can't say that enough. And does that mean that everybody gets pushed out? What it ought to mean is everybody at least gets vetted.
Trace, I want to talk to you about something specific having to do with California. So we know that ICE issued over 420 detainers, which means that they demand to be notified when a national is released from custody. These ones that they're requesting are in custody for things like homicide, battery, rape, kidnapping, and the like. But they're in the city of San Jose, for example, when Miss Bambi Larson was murdered by an illegal immigrant who had 6 detainer requests from ICE. And that is why—
6? Oh my gosh. This is getting crazy. This is crazy. This is one of the things that I just genuinely do not understand. I don't get it. And it's kind of funny to me because this is one of the things that are just a crime. It's not even subjective. It's just a crime. And I must say this again. If you are an advocate for illegal immigration, you need to be working on lobbying so that this law can change. Try to change the immigration process, but don't be an advocate for just people breaking into a country. They will get deported. It's not about if they'll be deported. It's about when they'll be deported. Because let's say Biden or let's say Kamala Harris wins the next election and she overturns all the immigration policies that Donald Trump does, and people get into America. The only way that they will not get deported is if there will never be another Republican president who is anti-immigration, which we all know there will be. So why not just write it into law or try to change the immigration process so it just is lawful now?
In part, Michael Gates from Huntington Beach in your neck of the woods in Southern California is suing California, saying we are not a sanctuary city. You are hurting American citizens. So this is something that we're going to see reflected in these ongoing tensions now. But I see Tom Homan and the rest of the United States succeeding over this.
And it's important to note that when you talk about Huntington Beach, it's in Orange County, and Orange County is a redder part of California, not as red as it used to be.
You guys like and
remember,
subscribe.
in the election, 11 counties in California went red. So it was a big deal, a big shift. California is not going to cooperate. Bill Melugin, nobody's done better work on this stuff than Bill Melugin when he was talking about in his script saying Boston is not going to cooperate. Yes, but Boston is also not resisting a lot of this stuff. They're not putting up any kind of resistance, which is a very good point, because even Eric Adams is saying, you know what, we're gonna play ball. We're gonna play ball. And
make sure you guys like and subscribe. Also, I'm gonna end this chat right here. This was a very fun one. I love learning more about it, especially about the medication. That was a good topic for me. I love reading about that. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe. Share this video. I'm gonna be live later today. It's LFR Jojo, and I'll see you all